So you've clicked this video because you want to hear my opinion about diversity and social justice as it pertains to fictional characters, particularly the Harry Potter universe. You might be saying, I'm not a fan of Harry Potter, I don't care about these characters, but trust me, there is more to the story than just what's happening with a movie with Harry Potter and the character Dumbledore. I'll give you a little bit of backstory. Basically, what we have here from BuzzFeed News, Jude Law opened up about Dumbledore's sexuality and says we're not going to reveal everything at once. Characters and their relationships will unfold naturally, which I'm excited to reveal. This stems back from, first, if you've never read Harry Potter, if you've never seen the movies, Dumbledore is the headmaster. He's like one of the main good guy characters. Harry Potter's the main character, Dumbledore is like an ancillary character, but he's considered one of the most powerful wizards in the whole universe. The Harry Potter universe, I mean, not outer space. Now, at some point, I think it was like 2007, after all the books had concluded, J.K. Rowling, who was the writer, said, by the way, Dumbledore is gay. And a bunch of people were like, oh my god, that's so cool, Dumbledore was gay this whole time, and she never brought it up once in the book. Other people were like, oh my god, how dare you inject your progressivism, your fake progressivism, into this story. And the people who are making this criticism aren't right-wingers, aren't anti-feminists. They were progressives themselves who were pissed off that they felt she was just trying to claim that Dumbledore was gay, even though nowhere in the books does it ever allude to anything about Dumbledore being gay. So BuzzFeed actually goes through this, and I've got some commentary to provide on the issue. So first, let's read about what happened. Jude Law has given Harry Potter fans a bit of an insight as to how his character, young Albus Dumbledore, will be portrayed in the upcoming Fantastic Beasts sequel, specifically when it comes to the wizard's sexuality. Let me stop here and say a little bit of backstory. Albus Dumbledore is a very old man in the books, and they're doing a prequel here. And also, I don't care about his sexuality. Why is that relevant to a fictional movie? Let the character do his thing, and the story's about a wizard, not about a gay wizard. I mean, if he's gay, that's fine. That's cool. You know, Dumbledore, do your thing. Be happy and love who you love. But what's the impact on that and him like apprehending evil wizards and teaching young wizards how to fight, you know, and learn to be wizards? Like, why is it relevant? Well, let's find out what they say. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly published Tuesday, Law was asked how the magical headmaster's sexual orientation would be explored, especially considering that David Yates, director of Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald, has said the matter won't be explicitly addressed. Hey, great! I don't think it needs to be. Let the character be gay and let's have a movie where a great wizard does great things and have that. Do we really want to focus on that as like a core aspect of the movie? You know, it's not like in other movies we make sure that everybody knows. You know, you don't have Superman walking around making sure everybody knows he's straight by saying it and doing things to align him with straight people. He's got a significant other. By all means, Dumbledore can as well. But do we need like articles and this constant interviews asking questions about it? Dumbledore, according to Potter lore, once fell in love with Gellert Grindelwald, Johnny Depp, who would go on to become a dark wizard. Of course, Depp's casting has also drawn criticism, but J.K. Rowling is standing by the decision to keep the actor in the film. I don't even know what that's about. I'll pull that up in a second. Maybe that doesn't even matter. Actually, let's jump over and why are they upset with? There's a casting fiasco around Johnny Depp for some reason. Okay, here we go. It's because Depp's now ex-wife took out a restraining order against him in May 2016, saying he was verbally and physically abusive. My stars. Social justice. I mean, look, if there's a personal spat with Johnny Depp and his ex-wife, I don't see how that has anything to do with the movie. Moving on. Law revealed to Entertainment Weekly that he has specifically asked Rowling if Dumbledore was gay. But as with humans, your sexuality doesn't necessarily define you, he said. He's multifaceted. I agree. And I don't think you need to make a movie where you overtly jam, you know, make sure everybody knows Dumbledore is gay. I think it's fine if the movie includes some tidbits here and there, and it just so happens that he's that, you know. But we want to focus on the achievements of a great man, and it shouldn't be that his achievement is that he's gay. That's diminishing. That's kind of an insult, in my opinion. Dumbledore is a great character. He's a powerful wizard, and that should be it, you know. And anything else is secondary. So I like this, but we're gonna get to the crazy in a second. Law said the movie is only the second film in the series, which is projected to have 5 films total. Wow, I didn't know that. hinting that we may learn more about Dumbledore's past as the series progresses. What you gotta remember this is only the second Fantastic Beasts film in a series. What's brilliant about Jo's writing is how she reveals her characters, peels them to the heart over time. You're just getting to know Albus in the film, and there's obviously more to come. It was big news when Rowling first revealed in 2007 that the famous headmaster was gay. But for many fans today, a passing reference to a character's sexuality isn't enough when it comes to representing diversity on screen. And then they do one of my favorite things of pulling random tweets from random people and acting like that somehow matters. Not that average people don't matter, but I want to point out before I read these, just because there's a few people who have made comments and there's engagement on it doesn't mean it represents the entirety of the social justice community, the left, the LGBT rights activists community and things like that. But news organizations do this. To an extent, I've done it in the past too. It is what it is. We want to try and see what the average public thinks, so I think too many people might overvalue what these tweets are, but someone said, if it isn't obvious by now, Rowling said Dumbledore was gay those years ago purely to try and avoid backlash for not having enough diversity. She never said anything about it in the actual series, and now won't again in Fantastic Beasts. Or maybe they will. I mean, they did say they don't explicitly reference Dumbledore's sexuality. And in recent years, more people have criticized Rowling for the lack of diversity within the original series. Oh my god. Harry Potter was written, like 2 decades ago? I think the first book came out when I was in 6th grade or something like that. And I think the 7th book came out when I was like 20 or 21. That's over a decade ago the last book came out. I'm 32. J.K. Rowling's bullshit diversity claims Dumbledore's gay without including it in the books or movies. Claims to love Black Hermione, yet only has 3 minor black characters in the books. Stereotypical POC in the books, Cho Chang, the most generic Asian name ever. And this coming from, current tweets. People are looking to the past, and they're saying, Harry Potter isn't diverse enough, she didn't do a good enough job, she's shoehorning in progressivism. Dude, she made the books in I think she was writing it the 90s, the late 90s, early 2000s. We didn't have this crazy PC stuff going on back then. Diversity, how are you gonna blame J.K. Rowling for something she wrote 20 years ago when no one was talking about this? And now these same similar people and similar activists look at Friends and other TV shows. Home Improvement, I think, was getting ragged on hardcore for being misogynistic and sexist. Then you had Married with Children, where Al Bundy had the organization called No Ma'am, which was very critical of their wives and women and made fun of them, and it was a TV show, and now all of that is taboo, and they don't even recognize these things are from a different era. They're like, this is bullshit. She'll tell you a character is gay when it suits her, but when she has a perfect opportunity to represent that character's sexuality properly, she does everything she can to avoid it, and that's the tweet one disappointed fan wrote earlier this year. Someone said, Dumbledore was never fucking gay. J.K. Rowling decided that appearing progressive would appeal to her audience, so she flung a gay dart at the nearest possible character. It should surprise no one that this flippant throwaway representation won't be shown on screen. What's really amazing about this is that some of these tweets you'd think were coming from right-wing individuals or anti-SJWs as they call it, but these are actually coming from the left, from progressives. So once again, it's like we have an instance of the left eating their own. It's not good enough that Dumbledore was gay. They have to make sure that in the books, in the movies, you see him doing things so you know he's gay. And to me, that's interesting because there are a ton of characters in most things that you don't see making out or hooking up with other people. What would Dumbledore have to do so that everyone knew he was gay in the books? Should they include a scene where Dumbledore is hugging or kissing his boyfriend or something? Is that relevant for you to say that Dumbledore is a great wizard? He's not a main character, right? I understand, in the instance of Superman, he has Lois Lane, and he goes to fight with her to save her, and she saves him, and there's a dynamic there because something's at risk. Dumbledore is an ancillary character. He's important, but he's not the main character. The book's called Harry Potter. So do we need to see, a date scene or something from a character who isn't the main character? Are we going to talk about the love interests of Snape, for instance? If you're not familiar with Harry Potter, Snape was another teacher. Well, actually, we did talk about his love interest, and it was a key point of the book, which is cool. But McGonagall. McGonagall is a character in the book. Do we talk about who she's hooking up with? We don't. Is anyone mad that there's other professors that we don't see who they're dating? The point is, no matter what you do, it's not going to be enough. This is the left attacking J.K. Rowling for saying that Dumbledore was gay. If she said nothing, they wouldn't be attacking her for this. They would just say they would be attacking her for not being diverse enough. But, a lot of people are claiming that Hermione was black the whole time, based on how she was described. And J.K. Rowling claiming she loves it. We have here another story where you can see people getting angry that it's just not good enough. This person said, I know that J.K. Rowling can't make up her mind about Dumbledore being an openly gay character, but I can tell you now that I already feel Jude Law projecting some gay-ass acting. I don't know if that's meant to be an insult at Jude Law, but I think actually, you don't need to say gay-ass, but I think it's fair to say that Jude Law is going to try and put something into the character that might signal it, the person being gay. But I feel if that is the case, if this person is right, that's just him stereotyping gay people. And then, hold on, we got a problematic alert here. Jude Law is not gay. At least I'm pretty sure he's not gay. Is he allowed to play a gay character? I mean, we just had the fiasco with Scarlett Johansson playing a trans character. Why can't we have a gay actor play a gay man? Jude Law is a straight man, I think. As far as I know, Jude Law is straight, and if that's true, isn't it problematic that he's playing a gay character? I don't know. I will add one last thing. Looks like we got this really cool photo, and I for one am excited for the movie. And I don't care if Dumbledore is gay or not. I think what we should focus on is good characters who are strong. If Dumbledore is going to be a main character in this film, I absolutely have no problem seeing him engage in some kind of behavior to give you backstory to him. Maybe he's with a boyfriend. Maybe they go on a date. Maybe one of his lovers is put at risk, or his lover is put at risk, and then he has to do something to save them, and they fight for each other. That's totally cool. I think that's totally fine, so long as it makes sense for the story. The one thing I have a big problem with is shoehorning in diversity just to try and please people. Because as we can see through all these tweets, it's not going to work. It's never going to work. So you should probably stop doing it. By all means. You know what? I'll say this real quick too, because I've been going on a long one on this video. Watch Dogs is a video game. I'm playing it. I've been playing it again. I got it when it came out. It's about hackers. Main character's black. There's a trans ancillary. There's a supporting character who's trans. There's a Latina character. There are white characters. And there was no backlash over this. There was no gamer communities freaking out, being angry that the main character was black. Nobody cared. It's a cool game. The characters are all really good. Their motivations are defined. And they even bring up racism in the game when they go to like Google. It's like a pseudo Google headquarters. And they mention that they're the only, black people there. Nobody complained about that. Everybody recognized that that's cool. Because they didn't make you feel like they were just shoehorning it in. They're not taking existing characters and changing them. They're not gender swapping characters. They made a new game with new characters. The game was good, the story was good, and it was fun, and it's still fun to this day, and nobody has a problem with that kind of diversity when it's done right. That being said, this is diversity not done right. Check out Watch Dogs 2 if you're into video gaming, and you'll see what I mean. I think the game's great. Anyway, stick around. I've got a bucket of videos. I got a ton of videos coming up today. So, yeah, another video in a few minutes.